Mantula is a human rights activist and he joins us now from Johannesburg. Really good to have you with us, Sipho. On the face of it, this deal that was signed in Sudan looks like a positive development, one that promises a civilian-led transitional government before elections. But why do you think some people, pro-democracy activists, are against it?
Jumbo Africa to your viewers, my brother. I think if you have to understand the Sudan politics or processes of the conflict, it will date you back to the era of Omar Al-bashir to the current General Al-Burhan. There was no peace deal, actually. One will say that there's always a breach of promise on these peace deals, and for the resistance committee to also being the absentees in this framework. One looks at that the issue again is the deficit of the civil society, the role of the civil society. Do we hear their voices when we are penning these peace deals? One looks also at the role of the African Union. One looks at the role of IGAD. Rather, we see the role of the United Nations having been the ones pushing for this peace deal. And I don't think rushing for the elections, always trying to mend relationships between the military and the civilians on a quick fix will bring peace to the Sudan, because you know that even the South Sudan, it is not stable. The other north parts of Sudan in the Nuba Mountains, Kordofan Mountains, Darfur, things are not settled. Sudan also, it is in crisis with Egypt and Ethiopia over the Grand Renaissance Dam. So if one looks at the politics of Sudan, they're always complex, and it is only the matter of believing in the voice of the civil society beyond the military.
So this deal does promise a civilian-led government in the interim, but do we have any idea when that might actually become a reality?
I think you will understand on this piece and this framework, they've spoken about a 24 months period. They are always giving difficult time frames. And remember, even previously, there was, Hamdok, who was the then prime minister, also coming from the World Bank, who tried to revive Sudan. But if you look now, who is a likely prime minister? Will there even be the issue of the military going back to the barracks? At the same time, how do you convince other civil society groupings that are not happy with this framework? Who are the guarantors of this framework deal? And that's where I raised earlier the role of the AU, the role of IGAD, the role of the civil society, and not to rush for the elections, because Sudan has also economic challenges. They also have issues of ethnic and religious tension.
As you say, it does appear that civil society groups have been largely left out of this deal. This agreement was, after all, signed between Sudan's major political parties and the ruling military. What do you think would be a better outcome that would involve those civil society groups?
I think the better outcome is that even during the 2020 processes, you remember that the forces of change was mostly a collective of the civil society. The Nubian women, we don't hear about the women of Sudan who were part of overthrowing and toppling General Bashir. So if one looks at the collective voice of women and youth, workers, academics in Sudan, it is the issue of them understanding that power contestation, to be in the palace, it is not the revolution. What is important for them is to deal with the challenges of Sudan during the post-Bashir era, and also the military coups. I think what Sudan, again, is still struggling with is the after effects of military coups that have been taking place. Is there also the absence of economy, the issues of cultural, social cohesion, it is absent. And also the role of the neighboring countries that are neighboring Sudan that are so silent. Your Kenya, Ethiopia, DRC, Egypt, those are the countries that also have to pledge their solidarity in assisting the Sudanese transitional government. And I will maybe finally say the issue of transitional justice. You need the issue of dealing with the reparation issues, the issue of justice, equal rights and justice to the people of the Nuba Mountains, to the people of Khartoum. And the role of women, I've emphasized the role of women. Where is the leadership and the role of women as leaders in the new Sudan?
Okay, Sipho Mantula, we will have to leave it there, but really appreciate your analysis. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much.